quarantine shelters across Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states to decrease the risk of COVID-19 spreading in densely populated camps and host communities. IOM Nigeria Chief of Mission, Franz Celestin, said given the rapidly evolving situation in Nigeria and across the world, the health of displaced and host communities should be a central part for the nation's response. Northeast Nigeria remains highly prone to cholera outbreaks and other diseases such as malaria, measles, Lassa fever, meningitis, and hepatitis E are endemic. Lack of access to potable water and sanitation infrastructure increases the health risks of IDPs and returnees. In coordination with health partners and emergency response agencies, IOM says it is constructing quarantine shelters to serve internally displaced and host communities in the towns of Guza, Puka, Bama, Dikwa, and Monguno. These shelters will cater to people with travel and contact history who might have been exposed to the virus. As part of its overall response to the virus and support to Nigerian authorities, the organization said it will manage the new UN Isolation Center in Abuja and repurpose 2 of its laboratories for testing once tests become available and case management. The 9-month project for quarantine shelters in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states is funded by the United Nations Central Emergency Response Fund, CERF. The World Health Organization, WHO, has urged countries to move quickly to save lives from malaria in sub-Saharan Africa as the world commemorates World Malaria Day, or WMD. The WHO made the call in a statement posted on its website on Friday. The World Malaria Day is an international observance commemorated every year on April 25th and recognizes global efforts to control malaria. Globally, 3.3 billion people in 106 countries are at risk of malaria. It also said new analysis supports the WHO call to minimize disruptions to malaria prevention and treatment services during the COVID-19 pandemic. WHO also urged countries to move fast and distribute malaria prevention and treatment tools at this stage of the COVID-19 outbreak in sub-Saharan Africa. According to the World Malaria Report 2019, sub-Saharan Africa accounted for approximately 93% of all malaria cases and 94% of deaths in 2018. QFM's News Dawn continues right after this break. Stay with us, please.
Beautiful one, I call on you today.
Bless you.
This not be time of bless you. This is where we say coronavirus so they show itself for the world there. Now time to use tissue paper or handkerchief. Take cover your mouth or nose when you dey cough or sneeze. This is not time to always wash your hand. Use hand sanitizer where contain better alcohol. This is not time to give ears, as in avoid me, give me space to any person where they cough or sneeze. This is not time to protect yourself or neighbors from sickness. So if you notice anything, sharp, carry yourself or the person go hospital or call this number free of charge. You're not going to collect money for your hand. That is toll-free number for 080 00 26 7662. 080 00 26 7662. The first thing bring this other number for 080 09 70 00 010. Remember, say life now says coronavirus not the show for face, so the person with their life carry first to this message from KUFM 2.7. Beautiful one, we call on you today. Come feel this place
today. Welcome back. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has called for total debt cancellation for African countries so that the continent can be able to survive the effects of the novel coronavirus pandemic. This was one of the issues that dominated the extraordinary summit of the heads of state and government of ECOWAS, which was held via teleconference and monitored from the State House in Abuja. The chairman of the ECOWAS and president of Niger Republic, Mamadou Issoufou, raised the alarm over the devastating effects of the deadly virus on human and economies of member states. He therefore called for collaborative efforts among the member states to combat the pandemic, which he said had already claimed many lives in the region and beyond. Issoufou, while noting the World Bank and the Africa Development Bank for their contribution towards keeping the human race safe against the ravaging pandemic, charged them to do more for African countries and save more lives on the continent. About 13 ECOWAS leaders, including President Muhammadu Buhari, participated in the teleconference. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has asked the federal government to consider the plight of vulnerable and poor Nigerians NLC President Ayuba Wala said there are some Nigerians who depend on a meal per day for survival. While lamenting the challenges posed by the virus following the closure of business activities globally, he asked the federal government to consider the welfare of the masses. Speaking on the social investment program of the federal government, the NLC boss noted that the program has not yet yielded the desired results. Waba also wants the government at all levels to ensure that the poorest in their midst who cannot afford a meal per day are well taken care of. And over now to some legal issues. The National Judicial Council, NJC, has recommended the compulsory retirement of 2 judges with immediate effect. In a statement by the Director of Information, NJC, Soji Oye, the judges are the Acting President, Imo State Customary Court of Appeal, Justice Francis Abosi, and Justice Aliu Liman of the Bauchi State High Court. Oye said the council, headed by the Chief Justice of the Federation, Justice Tanko Mohammed, took the decision during its 91st intensive meeting held online on April 22nd and April 23rd. The NJC said Justice Abosi was recommended for compulsory retirement following the falsification of his date of birth from 1950 to 1958. The council said findings showed that he was supposed to have retired in November 2015 when he clocked the mandatory retirement age of 65 years. The council decided to recommend for his compulsory retirement to Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State and to also deduct the salaries he had earned from November 2015 to date from his retirement benefits. While large-scale businesses continue to groan in pains over losses occasioned by the lockdown, local small-scale businesses have looked inward and are taking advantage of no mask, no movement order to reap consistent profits. On Extra Voices, Chinedu Ekeja explored multiple job opportunities created and how entrepreneurs and vendors are cashing out real good through mass production of thousands of face masks daily to meet increasing demand in Benin City.
In the ever-revolving world of news, one story becomes extinct the moment another major story breaks.
Market women don't know whether they pay anything.
But with KUFM's Extra Voices, the story never dies. It just takes on a new life.
Market meho.
There is no water in the house. The toilet is not good.
We don't have any fashion in APC.
We bring you new angles and fresh perspectives to every story, no matter how old or remote.
There are a lot of educated people that are involved in politics nowadays.
We go a little beyond the surface to get you those extra details ignored in the rush for the news.
Now bridge, now we take the entire now.
Some don't die for inside.
We go beyond the lines to bring extra voices, not just for those making the stories.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
But for those affected by the stories.
I've lost 1 bag of rice. Documents.
So it's a real disaster.
With Extra Voices, we add new flavor to give fresh perspective and taste to an old story. Extra Voices airs every Wednesday and weekends on KUFM's major news bulletins.
Virtually every corner one passes in Benin City, there is someone dangling a bunch of cut-to-size fabric materials of all shades and colors.
Buy your face mask. Buy your face mask.
Before now, this piece of nose and mouth covering was only seen in clinics and pharmaceutical shops at the giveaway prices. But suddenly, there was the coronavirus pandemic and it became a scarce commodity, selling for as high as 700 naira at some point.
Before we were buying it 400, that is a 700 naira. Before we wanted to know.
Actress Iniedo has donated 300,000 naira to her fans and followers to celebrate her birthday during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown. The renowned actress, who said words were not enough to express how excited and grateful she was, took to her Instagram page on Thursday to appreciate God and to gift 30 fans to mark her day. The actress also advised Nigerians to keep to the directive by the federal and state government in the bid to curtail the spread of the disease. Iniedo is a Nigerian actress who began her film career in 2000 and has featured in more than 100 movies. She made her debut in the movie Thick Madam. Elsewhere, Nigerian comedian, actor, and on-air personality Oluwatoyin Bayegun, popularly known as Wole Arole, has used the COVID-19 break to kick off an online show tagged The Chat Room. Wole Arole, who has continued to make waves in the online and comedy space in Nigeria, began the Instagram live show on April 8th. The comedian said the live show has the sole purpose of discussing life-changing topics in the most enlightening and comical ways. He will also be interviewing amazing guests from all walks of life in their most natural and holistic state via the same medium. with guests spanning from the entertainment, sports, arts, political, religious, business, and marketing sectors. Arole reels out his list that includes Manchester United striker Odion Igalo, Nollywood actor Adedimeji Lateef, social media enthusiast, the Pamilerin, Sheikh Amiolong, the Islamic scholar with a wealth of knowledge, Vector the Viper, Timi Dakolo, Isaac Oyedepo, and Leki Adeboye, sons of Bishop David Oyedepo and Pastor Enoch Adeboye. And finally, on entertainment, veteran Nollywood actor Yomi Obile is dead. The actor died on Friday morning from an undisclosed ailment. Obile was known for Tadi Ogidon's movie Hostages in 1997. Nigerian actor, comedian, radio and TV presenter Benga Adeyinka, who shared a post announcing his death, wrote on his page, "If tears could build a stairway and memories were a lane, he would walk right up to heaven and bring Yomi back again." And that's it on entertainment. Over now to sports, where Dutch Eredivisie has been cancelled over the coronavirus pandemic. Erusa Aikbeka has more on our sports desk.
And now to sport news. Egusa Agbekan is my name. The Dutch football's governing body, KNVB, says the Eredivisie has been abandoned for the season with no champions and no team relegated following the coronavirus pandemic. The move comes after the national government banned major events until 1st of September. The governing body said it has become impossible to play out the 2019-2020 season. Ajax led the table from AZ Akman on goal difference with 9 games left, but will not be crowned champions. But both teams will go into the Champions League qualifying stages pending ratification by UEFA. Third place final will qualify for the Europa League group stages with 4th place PSV and 5th place Willem II entering the qualifying stages of the competition. No sides will be relegated or promoted, meaning Cambo, who topped the second tier and had an 11-point gap over the playoff positions, will not go up. The Eredivisie Women has also been cancelled without a champion being named, with the Champions League place being awarded to league leaders PSV, while second place Ajax enter the qualifying stages. The Eredivisie has never ended the season without a champion being named since it was formed in 1956, although more than 4,000 people have died so far from the coronavirus in the Netherlands.